What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Robin, issue number 12. This one is written by Joshua Williamson with art by Roger Cruz, and a few other people worked on the issue as well. This is the issue right after the League of Lazarus Tournament, so Damian is getting on his way to head back to Gotham. He has to confront, like, his inner demons, and we get some setups for Shadow War, which begins next week. There was this one that set things up, and then you had Deathstroke Incorporated, which also set things up with this week's thing. And also, Deathstroke Incorporated did reveal the identity of Respawn, so I'll be posting that video shortly after this one, so you can check that thing out as well, because it's kind of a really messed up backstory, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people react to that. But basically, let's go a quick summary. Like I said, here's the information on Shadow War, so if you're interested in that. So I will be covering all of this Shadow War Alpha next week, then Batman, Deathstroke, Robin, then all these other one-shots and all that stuff. So looking forward to Shadow War. So basically, picks up right after the end of the tournaments and the little party that they had. They're on Lazarus Island. I guess they went back to the island. Damian's just kind of there reading his manga a little bit. He has a little bit of a conversation with Connor Hawks, like, hey, you know what, maybe hopefully I'll see you around sometime. Talia's there, and she's like, oh, let's get the family back together to do stuff. And then Damian stole his mom's airship, and he's headed back to Gotham because he had the Lazarus resin. He was going to go to Alfred's grave. And he's got this moment there where he's sitting there looking at his grave, feeling the guilt about how he failed him and how Alfred was somebody who trusted him. And I failed you, which is a line straight out of Dark Knight Rises when Alfred was there at Bruce Wayne's grave. Then, like, a figment of Damian's kind of imagination. So he's got the Robin colors on. That was kind of his more, like, demon-based attire, which we saw back in the pages of, what was it, Detective Comics and Batman, those preludes to the Robin book. So he goes toe-to-toe with his other half of himself, and Damian smashes the Lazarus resin. And like I said, this is all kind of in his head. He's been kind of having strange visions and, like, lingering effects of Mother Soul's magic, like it's manifesting his guilt and, like, his sadness and his emotions. Like I said, he's now right here in the middle of the grave, and I guess he dug it up without himself realizing it, and, like, going toe-to-toe, but his mother's there and she kind of helps him out of it. Damian's just kind of had enough of her shit over all these years, and he just kind of has a bit of an emotional blow-up with her, and he's just like, let's do this, come on, let's settle this, fight me to the death. And he's just like, I've had it. It's like, all you've ever done is just kind of used me and all these other things, and he's just kind of had enough of this stuff. It's like he's tired of that. He even mentions right here, he's like, tired ninjas of this. This is the cycle of our lives. Roz hates his mom, you hate your father. Because of you and Batman, I know I would never have children. I would never subject them to the life we live. So look at that. Like, even right there, he's like, I'll never even, like, have kind of a family of my own because of, like, all the shit that his parents have kind of put him through. He definitely has been kind of thrown around a bit, given, like, his parents' backstory and all that. He's like, let's finish this. And then she kind of, like, stops in the middle of it. He's like, you're right about all of it. Our family has been broken for centuries. We can break the cycle together. And he's just like, I would like it if you stayed with me, not as a weapon, but with me as my son. So there's that. And he's like, would be open to that. So it seems like he's kind of reconciling things with his mom right here. Now he's got to reconcile things with his dad because, well, I mean, he's kind of had, his parents are kind of shitty at times. Like, yes, they have their moments of goodness and that, like Batman definitely has, but, like, Bruce has been a really crappy absentee father for a while. And, like, if your kid's out there missing, wouldn't you be going to the ends of the earth to kind of get them back rather than just kind of, like, being stuck in Gotham? Like, it's like a curse. It's like, if you were there for your son more, he wouldn't have ran away. So, like, there's some issues with his parents for sure. And then Talia mentions just, like, one more thing. Don't steal my airplane. And also, I don't really like this flatline girl who's interested in you. And he's like, I don't care, Mom, I like her. And then we kind of get some interesting revelations about Flatline's character. So after she ripped Damian's heart out, apparently she kind of kept this thing in a jar, and she gave it back to Lord Deathman at his wishes. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this thing, because it's kind of a shadiness to her character that we weren't really seeing as much. But she's also kind of naive too about certain things. Like, even when you're reading the annual, like, Lord Deathman was clearly using her and she didn't really kind of realize it, because, like, he kind of was like one of the few people who took her in. So I'm interested to see where this thing is going to go from here, because we know that they're going to team back up on, is it like Robin 15 based on the solicitations. I don't think she's fully using him. Like, I think this will kind of set, like, I'm curious to see where it's going to go from here. Is it going to lead to another heartbreak thing? Like, that boy cannot deal with any more heartbreak. Like, his Alfred's dead. His grandfather's going to die. His dad's going to die in Dark Crisis. Like everyone around him is literally dying. His brother was Rick Grayson for a long time. Pretty much everything turns to shit, and then he kind of gets a moment where it's like, oh, this is kind of nice, and it's like, just kidding, I was going to betray you the whole time. I don't see that with Flatline's character, given what we've seen in the other issues, but there is some shady stuff here. It almost feels like something like a Selena Kyle would do to Batman, where it's like, oh yeah, I'll be on your side, but I'll still kind of double cross you or do some kind of shady there with his heart and all that. So I'm interested to see what's going to come of this. There's also a whole epilogue thing about the whole Lazarus demon side effects and how awakening the demon has kind of changed things. And then she talks about how the great Ra's al Ghul is dying, and that's going to continue in Shadow War Alpha. So this issue, like the strongest point for me is kind of the moment between Damian and his mom, about how she's like, you know what, not as weapon but as my son. Let's kind of work things out. Let's do some stuff with this. The setups for future issues and storylines, like especially with Flatline now in Tokyo, and she had Lord Deathman's, she gave him the heart of the demon. So there's some interesting stuff going on with the whole blood of the demon thing that kind of courses through Damian's veins. Like there's some interesting implications of what like this could lead to, and like what storyline they're going to do after the fact. So, and like I'm curious to see how Damian's reaction will be to what she did, because like I said, she definitely cares about his well-being. Like it was pretty much shown like after the fact that she did, but like she's even still reading the manga that he gave her, but she still did some kind of shady stuff. So I'll be interested to see what they're doing with that. I'm gonna hold out judgment till I see like the full storyline. But like if that character breaks his heart, it's really gonna suck, because especially after all the shit that Damian's just kind of been through lately. So yeah, Robin 12 was a pretty solid issue, all things considered. Like I said, the strong point was the scene with him and his mom just kind of finally reconciling things. Although I feel like it could have had a little bit more of an emotional gut punch had Talia like actually like had like more emotional tears and stuff, like actually apologized. It really would have hit a little bit more than what they were trying to go for in this thing. Just kind of have a moment like that where even she kind of breaks down. Like you really see like the walls that she's kind of put up around herself. Maybe we'll get that later on in this run, but I think that would be a really would have made the moment more powerful if we got to see a vulnerable side that we haven't seen in so long. Maybe all this like the side of her that we've kind of seen, this nastier side, like that cold persona, just kind of like at some point just kind of up and breaks, and then she just kind of has a little bit of a breakdown there, like with her son. That would have made it more powerful and more impactful, kind of akin to like what they did with Cobra Kai, the most recent season, where Robbie has a scene with his dad at the end. Like that was a nice bit of reconciliation given the stuff that both characters had gone through in the first couple of seasons. If you've seen Cobra Kai, that's just the example I'm kind of pulling, but something along the lines of that I think would have made the scene a lot more powerful. Those are just my opinions on it. I still enjoyed the issue. The artwork is really solid once again, and I'm excited for Shadow War. So anyways, what did you think of Robin issue number 12? Tell me your thoughts in the comments section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that other fun stuff. Be sure to come back, because right after this, I'm going to be reviewing the latest issue of Deathstroke Incorporated, which is the origin of Respawn, and you're definitely going to want to watch that video, because I'm not going to spoil it here. It's a pretty messed up origin story, I'll just say that. So, yep, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.